Dr. Larkins, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tom. And before you invent another product, it's 9604. So don't confuse us with yet another AOD version, Tom.
I was looking through my notes and I'd written it two different ways and I had a mental blackout as to which one it was.
I know exactly, yeah.
Now look, Dr. Larkins, I mean, look, I know there's a lot of debate about whether AOD 9604 is illegal or not. WADA says it is. ASADA is possibly uncertain. The Australian Crime Commission even less certain. We don't formally know whether Ahmed Saad has taken something he shouldn't have or not, although Fairfax Media is alleging it. But just how widespread is the ingesting of strange substances in the AFL?
Absolutely universal across 18 clubs, Tom, without doubt.
Really?
But strange substances, by that I mean protein supplements, ginseng, bees pollen, honey wax, caterpillar dung. I mean, these things have been around in sport for as long as sport has been in existence. And there's a lot of rubbish ingested by sports people around the world with no science and no benefit. But it's just the nature of people trying to get an edge. And most of them, of course, are not banned because they don't do anything, Tom.
Well, that's the thing. But I mean, you'd have to say that anybody ingesting anything is doing it because they think it might help them or give them an edge over someone else, correct?
Yeah, the power of placebo in everything in life is universal. Success doesn't come in a bottle for athletes. Never has, Tom, never will. Doesn't come in a syringe. And, so the concept of an athlete trying to take something, as I said, is universal in sport. And AFL players are no different. I mean, what we have currently, as you know, is a much more concerning case where there's been injections of peptide hormones, and that's not universal across the 18 clubs, by the way, Tom.
Okay, now, in your view, I mean, do players need to take more personal responsibility for this? I know that when it comes to individual athletes, that is absolutely the code. Well, you, the athlete, are responsible, but there seems to be some spreading of blame around here.
Yeah, I'm a bit sick of that argument, Tom. I mean, look, it's never been any different. The AFL's had a drug testing program for 18 years, Tom, and every year, twice a year, the players get an instructional talk about the drug code and what's allowed and what's not allowed and what they have to check. It's no different if you're an AIS athlete, if you're an Olympic athlete, a member of the Socceroos. And so at the end of the day, the athlete has been told and told. It doesn't matter if they're a first-year player at an AFL club or a 10-year veteran. So they've had that information repeatedly. There's absolutely no excuse to say, I didn't know I had to check something. But at the end of the day, they're also getting influenced by adults who may reassure them incorrectly that what they can take is allowed, and that may be an issue of a certain number of cases, including the SARD one.
Well, would it not be a better idea for clubs just to say, sorry, a bit of background noise there, would it not be a better idea for clubs just to say, look, eat a healthy diet, go to bed early, do your exercise, which obviously you're doing if you're an AFL footballer, and why not just say that and just forget about all these substances? It seems to me the ones that don't do anything you don't need to take, and the ones that will do something you shouldn't be taking anyway. So wouldn't the best thing to be just don't take anything?
No one is naive to believe that. Should political campaigns say we won't do a promotional campaign, we'll just let people vote and we won't actually do any promotion to tell them how good we are? I mean, the thing is that for as long as sport's been around, people are looking for an edge, whether it's a vitamin, whether it's something else like that. So the fact that you just eat your meat and 3 veggies and drink water and breathe oxygen, I mean, that's not going to get you the psychological advantage that people are looking for in sport. And football is prone to that. These athletes are very vulnerable to influences. Somebody's also got a product. I mean, I think that the sad thing about the St Kilda case, regardless of who the player is it's probably been an inadvertent use of one of these tonic products or protein supplements that does contain contaminated products. There are stories time after time in world sport of that happening. So this may be the case in the St Kilda one, which is going to be really sad because the athlete is responsible for what goes in their mouth, Tom.
All right, now, just on another issue, the ASADA report, I've heard it rumoured that it'll be out on Monday or Tuesday next week. Any comments?
Well, I think it's long overdue, but it should not have been rushed through. And what I mean is there were so many layers to the story, as we've heard, regarding the number of blood tests that might have been done, regarding the products, that they couldn't have put the report through without being thorough, because the consequences of the findings, and I think it will be next week, are so important, and there's all sorts of levels of sanction from Brownlow medals and points and players and coaches being suspended. It had to be done properly, and I believe it's been done thoroughly, and it's unique in Australia, Tom, and I think it'll be a negative report for Essendon, but I don't know what it will be for the players individually.
Well, I guess we'll find out in a few days' time. Dr. Peter Larkins, good to talk with you.
Thanks, Tom. Always good.